Business growth is, as you know I'm sure better than me, always a challenging thing. You've constantly got changes in the demand for your products, in the opportunities for new markets. If you're in agriculture, you've got the volatilities of what's going on with international prices. And if you're engaging with the government, you've got problems when governments twist and turn and potentially shut firms out of contracting opportunities. But I do think that there's a great future for Goulburn to be had there. A future which is based on a range of different industries, servicing the local agriculture sector, but also being a great tourism hub for the region. You're tapped into the Canberra economy, which is still managing to tick along, although not quite as well as it was a few years back. That combination of services is, I think, a really powerful one. But to be a sea change community away from the sea, you also need to be able to offer a place that is tapped into the national broadband network. It worries me the decisions that were made when this government came to office not to proceed with a really good first-rate national broadband network, but instead to put one together that ends up relying on the copper network, which is, let's face it, great technology for the early 1900s, but hardly cutting edge for today. National broadband network ought to mean that you're able to engage with education, with healthcare services that are hundreds of kilometres away. You ought to be able to have a consult with a specialist podiatrist in a way that they're able to link in with you. You ought to be able to sit in on a class at a university, whether it's University of Melbourne or ANU, and feel like you're there in the room. And that's something you can't do on a second-rate national broadband network. So that's something that the federal Labor team will be pushing hard towards. I know there's lots of good ideas around in politics, and I'm not one who believes that all wisdom resides on one side of the house. One of the really important things that I know Ursula's emphasised to me often is that when you sit in the Senate, you get a sense as to listening and learning and picking up the wisdom for both sides. And I'm very much aware that when you're in a forum like this, you have to live by the maxim that you've got two ears and one mouth for a reason. And so I think I'm keen to shut up and to engage in more of a conversation. I know Ursula also wants to hear some of your ideas too about how to make sure that we have strong business growth in Goulburn. Let me stop there, hand over for questions and a bit of conversation.
Great.